Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? You can use the chat. We'll give it another 2 minutes or another 1 minute. It's 17:32, so we'll give it another 1 minute. But can you hear me? Adiola? Adiola, are you there? Okay. Okay, it's 5:33, so it's time to talk. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can anybody just put the chat and say yes or no, just to make sure that everybody can hear me? Adiola? Adiola, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? The chat is disabled. Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Yes.
Roddy. They should be able to hear you. We've disabled the chat function though. So in the Q&A, you can see people have responded
Okay.
and they're saying, yes, they can hear. So in the Q&A, they're saying they can hear you as well.
Okay, Adiola, thank you. So, well, thank you very much for, for the answers here, and welcome to the open day tonight. We'll talk about the biotech and pharmaceutical industry. We'll try to make it as fun as very informal at the same time, and to explain the course to you. My name is Radi Haloub. I'm associate professor and program leader for biotech and pharmaceutical management, and I've been working in the industry for about 10 years or 12 years, and then I moved to academia since about another 10 years or about 14 years. So I've my first degree is pharmacy, so I did my first degree in pharmacy, and I worked with with pharmaceutical companies for a very long time. I don't remember how many products I launched. I don't remember even, how many countries I visited. And of course, all that type of experience came into, into the course of biotech and pharmaceutical management. I'll bring all the experience I've got and all the stories that I have, in my, I say toolbox. Toolbox means my stories. So I'll bring all my stuff, in my teaching. But before I explain, things about the biotech and pharmaceutical management, this industry is quite important, and I would appreciate that we are basically looking for the, the engines of healthcare industry. So pharmaceuticals is not a profit-oriented organizations only. It is basically one of the most interesting industry to study. And the biotech is where the products that are not profitable enough for pharmaceuticals would gain benefits in the market share. So let me just go through the presentation that has been prepared for you. Let me just share my screen. There we go. So today we're gonna cover the main, the main points about the the Global Business School for Health and the Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management. As you can see here in this photo, you can see me here. That's me, and that is the first cohort of Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management course here in the UK, and in our school. So we are the first business school in the world that is dedicated for health. We're the only school who teaches students how to put the cap on as a management, or how to put the business cap on when you think about health. We believe that health and soft skills are missed in teaching and organizing, the healthcare practices, and we reimagine the global healthcare management. We look at the challenges from business perspective. We try to solve these problems, and we inspire public good. So at the end, we are all responsible, whether we're studying management, we are in a pharmaceutical company, we're working as a pharmacist in a retail pharmacy, or we are in the marketing department, sales department, in the R&D. We are all responsible toward health and toward global health. But what we basically aim here in this course is to provide you with a vision of how to create responsible leaders in that business, and how the responsible leaders can react and act in the way that is in the favor of pharmaceuticals and healthcare at the same time. It is not easy to be done. It's not easy to increase your profit whilst at the same time basically minimize the cost of production. So that balance is not always an easy task. So we will teach you that. We will cover this. And again, those are photos of your colleagues. All the photos here is you basically from the open day, from the induction, and we've got really good attendance from all students. So here the MSc Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management, it provides it's advanced your knowledge. It provides an advancement to your knowledge in biotech, and most importantly, the business development and management perspective, and provide better understanding to the forces that drive the science and business. So how many times we see a company who has a very good product, but they don't do very well in the market as they should, is because they don't have enough skills to steer that line in the market and sustain it. And the other discipline that is basically important, the pharmacoeconomics, which is basically it has two sides. The first side is from the health perspective. How big is the market? How big is the segment? The disease here, we call it a market. And possibly from the pharmacoeconomics, how much is the cost of treatment? What is the value added price strategy? So pharmacoeconomics will cover that. And you can, this program is designed especially for those who would like to establish themselves in the pharmaceutical business. And the pharmaceutical business has different layers. So the layer which is basically within the manufacturing facilities, or in the marketing, or in sales, or in management, or business startups, or even in retail pharmacies, because we cover that. And that could be covered also for your for your business project. So this program can initiate your own startup company, or possibly you would like to join an existing pharmaceutical and biotech business. The cost of the program, which is very similar to the cost of London universities, for the UK is 18K, and for the international 3,200K. The starting date is September 2023. That has to be amended, and the duration is 12 months. But if you would like to study, if you are an international student, it will be hard to study for for part-time. But if you are a local student, there will be an opportunity to do this over 2 years. The restriction, of course, for part-timers, the international students who would like to study part-time, is the visa restrictions. So the admission, we look at students with, qualification of very good, which is 2-1, and some graduates who don't have the the degree and they would like to apply, they will have to show evidence of extensive work-related experience. And that work-related experience is quite important for us to be written. You have to write it down in your personal statement, and I strongly encourage you, to keep that updated. As I will mention later on, your personal statement, take this as an investment. And every year you have to change your personal statement. So you would remind yourself of what you have done over the last year, or probably the year before, how you link it up into how does this been transformed into your skills, minimize your weaknesses and stuff like that. So extensive relevant work experience, they're welcome to join. We welcome students from different backgrounds, health, science, business, economics, pharmacy, biomedical sciences. We accept all students, and we want at least of IELTS of 7 and above, with no area less than 6.5 in subtotals or subtests. What I want to tell you about this year, we've got 65 students coming from more than 16 different countries. So we've got students from Europe, that will include France, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, and we've got students from North Africa, from Algeria, Morocco. We've got one from UAE, Pakistan, India, China, Singapore, Japan. So America. So all these students will form, would form a nice coherence in terms of exchanging, experiences in different contexts, in different environments. So it will be quite interesting to have this type of experience that is very rare, in my opinion, in courses in the UK. More photos. I like these photos. So who is the program for? For those who might be already working in the industry, or you work in a consultancy company and you would like to expand yourself, or to be exposed, or to use the same terms, in the practice. You would like to develop a specialized knowledge in certain area. So when you speak to your clients, you speak the same language. It's ideal for a range of individuals who would like to work in biotech and pharmaceuticals, or you would like to start up or establish a corporation. So we teach the pharmaceutical and biotech from 3 different aspects in one of the modules, which are the environment, the corporate, and the business level. So these 3 aspects will have an impact on the R&D, will have an impact on the values, will have an impact on the culture, the structure of the organization, and it's how they blend within the changes in the marketplace. The changes might be uncontrollable. They will always be uncontrollable, but the reaction should be much more systematic. And those who would know the terminologies, they will adapt very quickly to the changes within the environment. So that is if you are in that category, this program is for you. More nice, lovely photos here. So yeah, look at the diversity in this photo. So we've got, if you look here on the right side, Leo here is from Germany. Isabella, she is from Switzerland. He's from France. That's me. She is from the UK. She is from India, and he is from China. So you can tell the diversity here. 6 different countries in one photo, without me, of course. So that will tell you the extent to which this program is highly diverse, and it's very engaging. The induction, we will have 1 week of induction that enables students to focus on personal and development and professional development. I was talking to one of your potential applicants today, and I said, your career already started when you joined the course. When you are basically in my classroom, your career already started. So you need to think about your CV. You need to consider your strengths and your what do you want to do after graduation? What do you want to do before graduation? How many job interviews you would like to attend? So you need to be involved or keep yourself busy in finding your direction, and I will help you to do that. And also UCL, programs, as a university will help you as well. So we have students invited to complete an self-paced course in global health. The program structure is straightforward. We've got three modules in term one, which are clinical trials and statistics, processes and practices that I teach, and pharmacoeconomics. And in term two, we've got commercialization of research ideas. We've got market equity, and we've got the pharmaceutical marketing, and we've got supply chain. So in total, we've got 7 modules, and that will lead us to 120 credits. And the 120 credits, that means we will have another 60 credits projects module that are the business and the research. So the business project, you will work in groups within the same cohort, and you will probably find an innovative idea, innovative process, innovative product that you would like to present. You would like to pitch that product to dragons to invest in you, and getting the investment right. And as I always say, this degree is all about investment. You are basically spending time here for 12 months in the UK, and I would like this to be a successful investment for you, as for the UCL, and as for everybody else. So it's a win-win situation. So going back to the business project, the business project is basically you come up with an idea, you work in a group, and you put that in a business business model, and you submit that in a group. You will have an industry mentor. You will have an industry mentor with you all the time, so every month you will have to meet them for 30 minutes. You will have to prepare questions. You will have to be able to engage with them. So that is about the business project. But the research project is an extended literature review. So you think about one of the themes that we delivered in the program, and you might be choose one of these themes of interest that you would like to move forward, and that will lead us to 180 credits at the end of 12 months. Scholarships. We love scholarships. We would encourage scholarships as well as academics. So we have Women Healthcare Leaders Scholarship, that's up to 5K, for female students who demonstrate leadership potential and prepare students to move into senior management. And I always say, about the women, they are creative. They are very creative, but they are underrepresented in this industry. And most of the time, these creativity and innovation might not be translated into real life business. The Global Healthcare Leaders Scholarship is also 5K, and that's also for students from Africa, Asia, UK, South America, who show also an exceptional leadership potential in their fields and want to make a difference to the healthcare. This is quite interesting type of scholarships where we think about the potential of the applicants and what they are capable of doing. So please make this again as an investment, and that will also help you in funding your studies. There are other programs that are available. I don't know, I was talking to one of the applicants today as well. Always look at the websites, always consider the funding the availability of funding, scholarships from UCL, the Commonwealth, the Fulbright, master's bursaries. In the UK, they offer this from the government. There is a program, but I don't know if that program is expanded or not. So you will always find scholarships available here and there, studentships that might be of an interest to you. Career, it's we encourage the interaction with the industry, and you have industry mentors, you have career coaches, you have industry events. So we have the career fair on the 23rd of February, and we have the student conference that will be in May, where the students, we will announce this, so people from from industry might come and have a chat with the students. In the 1 week, we will always invite the healthcare, the health executive in residence. So these are people who might be able to advise you about your career. You will have the opportunity to speak to them. A lot of them, they have their own businesses. A lot of them, they are in the market. So they might say, oh, we need someone in marketing, we need someone in sales, we need someone in operation. And they might say, oh, what about you? Are you interested to work for X and Y company in the operations or sustainability? So that will give you an opportunity. You can work as a consultant. Now we're in discussion with some of the consulting companies, one of these big 4 firms, about their involvement with us. They are willing to get involved with us and getting to know our students. And I always say to my students, I promote you very well. When I speak to industry representatives, I always say, we have a bunch of good students here that they will graduate and they will hit the ground running after the graduation. So most of the industry mentors, they are so excited to see my students and they are so excited to speak to them. So every week we've got speakers coming from different companies to speak to students about different subjects. So we invited James, over the last 2 weeks to talk about partnership. Jim is talking about the cost of manufacturing. Brian is talking about the pricing policies. So we've got loads of these speakers who will happen to be your industry mentors. So you will get to meet them before you work with them. That is my strategy, is to find synergy between our resources. You'll probably be able to join the management role in big pharma, the biotech, the public, private, WHO, NHS, PUPA, companies in pharma sector, GlaxoSmithKline, Sanofi, Aventis, Siemens, AstraZeneca. People who would start up. If you have an idea that might be really profitable, so you probably think about starting up your own business, and we will help you also to do that as well. Again, more students. She's from Lithuania, she's from Japan, and I think she is from one of the African countries, but I forgot which one. So as you can tell, we are so informal with our students. We're very much engaging with our students. We love to hear from our students as much as we want them to hear from us. So the extracurricular activities and student support are there to help you and to support you. So the student unions, the clubs, the societies, there are loads and loads of activities where the students can get engaged, with our societies, with our, our approach, our values. We teach our values. We also encourage you to get involved with us and to learn how to engage with how to make an impact. So it's always about how making impact to you and to the society, and to the surrounding people, and to your family, to your friends, to your relatives. So what type of impact you would like to make. So this is basically the heart of the delivery of the program. Is basically, it's all about your impact. What are you really trying to do here? Well, for those who are basically in London, they know that, but the UCL East, the Stratford, is a state-of-art facilities, and we're literally here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. That's One Pool Street, that we teach in this year, but we were going to move to this building, Marshgate, next year. It's a huge one. So it is exciting new. There is exciting new accommodation here as well. It's in the East Bank's cultural educational destination. There are shopping, Westfield Shopping Center. It's a huge one. It's literally 8 minutes walk from Stratford. 8 minutes walk to Stratford International, or about 10 minutes walk to Stratford International train station. And also it takes about 8 minutes from Stratford to St. Pancras International. There's a fast train. And there are sport facilities using parks and access. Can you see the green area? In the east side of London, the situation is different. It's much more greener, let's say, and much more, bigger, better spaces and bigger facilities. So, so that's why we're moving to the east side of London. Well, I can't say more. This is the best city in the world. Life in London, it's all about, the availability of activities, museums, institutes, pubs and clubs and parks, sport events, tourist attraction. It is ranked top city for students in the UK in 2021. We believe that being in the right environment will give you the right output, from your education journey. So we've got, I'm sorry about the dates. I think the dates are wrong here, but we've got also the upcoming events, the MSc Digital Health and the MBA and UCL, the Executive MBA Health. It's always available on the website. I will ask colleagues to circulate the dates, the correct dates for you. But again, if you have any questions, to me, please just put your name on the question and answer and ask the question. I can also allow you to speak if you want to talk and to ask the question, to us. And of course, you can always reach out to us about admissions at gbsh@ucl.ac.uk. You can always contact me as well, with r.hello@ucl.ac.uk. So that is the find out more, read more about the availability of funding, availability of different courses that we offer at the Global Business School for Health. There's a lot to learn, to talk about, and there's a lot to consider. And of course, I know you probably need some time to to go through the materials and make the right choice. And I always say, make the right choice. Making the right choice is the first step toward a strategic direction. So there are so many there's judgment, and there is a decision, and there's choice, and there's a scenario. So you need to make sure you have the right choice, the right scenarios, and the right judgments and the right decisions. So, so that's what I advise you to do at this stage. Let me just, okay, let me just stop sharing. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, now we're back. We're back here. So, I am, okay, I was looking for 25 minutes. Yeah, we started a little bit late, but I'm late for 1 or 2 minutes. But do you have any questions? You can use the questions and answers, here, or if you want, here we go. So I'm graduating from pharmacy school in July or September 2025. Can I apply for academic year 25-26? Yes, you can. So when I will come to the next question. So when you apply to study this course in 2025, we will also, look at the paperwork, and we will make sure you will have, what do we call, a conditional offer. So the conditional offer means, you can join the course with a condition to get 2-1 in your undergrad. So once we have the results, we've got a few cases this year, and they all joined the course. So it's not a problem at all. I am studying in an English program in Europe. Do I still need a language certificate? That is subject to the international office. If you can email me, and I can ask the question to the international office as early as possible. And I like this. I like that you're thinking about joining us in September 2025. That will tell me that you're planning ahead, which is quite good. And I always say, failing to plan is blind to fail. That's really good. You have really good questions here. So please email me, and I will ask the right questions to the right people. Very good. Really very good start. Any more questions, please? Let's have a look. Okay. That's done. Any more questions? You should have more questions. Okay. Any more questions about the presentation? Any more? Okay, there we go. Oh, wow, good. Hi, could you tell us more about the clinical trial modules and what it consists of? Fantastic question. The clinical trials module is basically an introduction to the clinical trials. It's basically statistics. So when you, I'll give you an example, and probably, and you can replicate that. So when I investigate a disease, a certain type of disease, so what I'm taking basically the patients, and I'm taking these patients as part of the sampling technique. So I'm taking the samples, I'm making the clinical trials, and I come up with the results, and then I publish the results to generalize the outcomes. The introduction to clinical trials will simplify this for you, and will probably put it in a case study. So they are delivering the clinical trial modules in terms of how we make sure we have the statistics behind the clinical trials right, and how these statistics and how the clinical trials can feed into the management side of things. So that is the clinical trials module. It's purely an introduction course. So for those who don't have the background, the business, the students who have the business background, they will get to know what do you mean by R&D and what do you mean by clinical trials. The pharmaceuticals will take about 13 years or possibly 15 years just to launch one product. It costs them millions of dollars just to reach into that stage where they launch it. So if there is a problem with the process or design or resource allocations in the clinical trials, that again will cost them a lot of money. So so they will teach you what do you mean by design of clinical trials and how the design of clinical trials will feed into the management side of the business. Okay, Arabella, do you? Okay, okay. Let me just, on the basis of conditional and unconditional offer, on what basis is conditional, and then is the conditional or unconditional offer is given to postgrad applicant. So the conditional offer is mainly about the English test for IELTS, for example. So if you don't have IELTS, if you don't submit the IELTS certificate, or you are basically studying your undergrad and you are waiting for your certificate. So I am more than happy to reserve a chair for you in this course until you provide us with the certificate that we need or we ask for. So so my understanding about the unconditional offer means you tick all the boxes and you're ready to join. We have a seat booked for you. We have a seat available for you to join. But the conditional offer, yes, we have a seat reserved for you, but you need to take these conditions before you join. So that is the meaning of the conditional offer and unconditional offer. But of course, I can't say if your undergrad degree is a pass and you applied, so very likely your offer letter will be the your offer letter will be or your application will be accepted. Your application will be declined. But if we feel that there is a chance to host you in the program, we will do that and we'll make sure you know exactly what we expect from you regarding your conditions. Okay, so I am a biomedical science student without business background. Would you suggest further reading around modules before starting the course? Yes, of course. Of course. I don't know, do you have access to library resources? And if you do, if you go to the search engines and so in Science Direct and go to find resources about pharmaceutical management or pharmaceutical corporate social responsibility or corporate governance of pharmaceuticals, it is not purely manufacturing. It's more about managerial aspects and it is quite interesting to read this from a different angle. The readings is all about the soft skills, what the managers would need, from you. What are the expected from you when you work in a pharmaceutical company? Of course, you're not going to the lab. As a manager, you will have to make decisions. You will have to make, as I said earlier, choices, judgments, scenarios, decisions. So all these factors will be part of the analysis that you're going through. So if you have access to library, then it's fine. If not, we have newsletters, and we always look at the materials that are available for our students. So just stay with us and keep attending these sessions. We would be able to guide you more and more through where to read and what to read. I teach policies and practices and commercialization, and most of the cases that I use is GlaxoSmithKline, AstraZeneca, and Hoffmann La Roche, Novartis. All these brand names are important in deciding the cases that we analyze. So please get involved, with us. And once you have the offer letter, whether it's conditional or unconditional, there will be other sessions where we can introduce you to the readings before joining the course. So Arabella, you're welcome. We've got another question from you. When is the application deadline? And if accepted, when do I find out? Well, we started the applications for next year already. So I would strongly recommend you to plan the application, or to think about your application as soon as possible. Get it done, get it sorted, done and dusted. And if accepted, when do I find out? Actually, we tend to have about 4 to 8 weeks to process the applications. We received, for the first 3 weeks of the start of this year, about 800 applications so far. So there's a lot of applications in the pipeline. So it is hard for us to go through the personal statements and the application details. We just want to be fair with all students. So it is probably fair to say between 4 to 8 weeks, you will hear back from us. And of course, if you have, for example, or if you would like to follow up, say, oh, hey, I made an application and I didn't hear back, that's my reference letter. Of course, we can dig that out and we can look, but give us at least 4 to 8 weeks to do that. So if you don't hear back from us, we're more than happy to accept your reminder as something that we need to consider. How many students in the course? That's a very good question. For this year, we've got 65 students. And we expect about 75 students for next year. I'll have to say the places are very, very, very competitive. So we only have a capacity of 75 students for next year, and that's what we want to accept. But for the current year, we've got about 65 students. So make sure you have the application sorted and applied as soon as possible. Can I apply without my English test scorecard? No, I don't recommend. The reason why I don't recommend, if you book an IELTS test now, that's probably take you about 4 weeks. But if you make the application and we wait until 8 weeks, then we will ask you for another 4 weeks, for another IELTS. That might take you another few weeks. But what you can do, you can enroll in IELTS and you can apply to the test, and at the same time, you can apply also to the IELTS. And once you have the IELTS in place, during that time, we'll be able to evaluate your application. So enroll yourself in IELTS, get this in your plan, and make the application at the same time. but I strongly recommend not to wait. So don't make the application and wait until you hear back from us, because we will issue a conditional offer. It won't be unconditional. And once it's conditional, then probably that will take about 10 weeks. And then you book the IELTS, and probably that will take another 4 to 6 weeks. And then you reapply the IELTS, and that will take another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So my advice to you is to book the IELTS as soon as possible and prepare your application pack. If you submit the IELTS, as soon as possible, and you got the results, you can submit it as one application. But if not, even when you process the application, we will get back to you and say conditional with the IELTS, but meanwhile, you'll be in the queue for the IELTS test. Are GMAT and GRE tests strongly recommended? The entry criteria for this course is, clearly stated in the website and in the presentation. We are looking for 2-1 in the undergrad, and unless you have an experience that you would like to share with us, and you probably be able to to show some evidence of hard work that you will be able to, it's my responsibility is to make sure that you are in the right course, and you are basically in the course that you will gain benefit out of it. So it is not about the course. We will always get students. As I said, there are loads of students in the pipeline. But what we want is, we want the best for you. I want the best for you, and UCL wants the best for you. So so we want to make sure that you cover all, or you tick all the boxes in the entry criteria. Wow, really good questions so far. Do you have any more questions? We've got about 12 questions. That's really good. Can we do up to 15 questions? So we still have about 15 minutes. Do you have any more questions? Okay. I can't see any questions so far. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope, as I said, I feel responsible to this industry. I feel responsible to you as graduates, or the future graduates. Oops, we've got 2 questions. Sorry. Thank you for your time. You're welcome. You're most welcome. Is IELTS mandatory to put in an application, or is the case-by-case basis? So if you graduated from a university here in the UK over the last 2 years, then IELTS is not mandatory. If you are an international student and you're living overseas and you've got your certificate from non-English speaking country, then IELTS is mandatory. It is not case by case. But what I advise to you, as I said earlier, if you don't have IELTS, prepare your application pack and apply for IELTS as early as possible, because you need to book a space, you need to book a time, in order for you to attend the exam. And once you hear back, if your application is accepted, you will probably receive conditional offer with the IELTS, subject to the IELTS of 7 and above, 6.5 in each section. So so I strongly recommend you to plan it from today, or as soon as you can. So in a nutshell, yes, mandatory. It is mandatory. IELTS English test is a mandatory. Is it possible that the course will fill up before the application deadline? That's a really difficult answer. The real answer for this is I don't know. We've got loads of applications, I'll have to be honest with you. And I am sure some of these applications are really strong. I've seen some of them. But my advice to you is keep on applying to this course, and make the application. The application deadline, I think, will be March next year, and sometimes they extend it, but I think it's March. So if we fill the places by March, then, as I said, we're looking for 75 students next year. But we always accept, a little bit more, not very much more, like a few applications that we feel like if there some of the applicants will drop out and they can't join the course, we will have others in reserves. So my advice to you is basically make the application as soon as possible. There is a possibility that this course will fill up before the application deadline, because this is the second year and we're making a huge progress in our network and in our publicity, PR and activities that we do. I don't know if you have LinkedIn, just follow us on LinkedIn and you will see, the size of events that we're doing. So please just make the application as soon as you can. At least if there are any requirements that needed to be done, if there are any missing documents, then we will get back, with questions. Can you please share with us these documents to process your application? So please make the application as soon as you can. So the reality is, I don't know the answer, but there is a possibility that this might be the answer. This might be, we might fill up, but don't give up. That doesn't harm you. We can always go through the applications and make sure that only those who tick the boxes and they can, contribute. I want you to contribute to the project, to the program, as much as I want myself to contribute to your life. So obviously that's the hope. So please make the application as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. Is it possible there will be interviews? If you are basically in the category of, if you are in the category where you have an experience and you don't have an undergrad certificate, then yes, there's a high probability we'll go through the interviews to make sure that you tick the boxes and you are basically, you can manage. But the general rule of thumb, no, we don't interview all applicants. That's really tough. So make the application and we will evaluate your application, and then we can take it for the next step. And you're welcome. If I apply without my IELTS score because of a rush and demand, if I get conditional offer, will the seat be reserved? Yes. If you got a conditional offer, then the condition is to submit your paperwork by July or August. And to me, August and July is the day after tomorrow. It's very close. You won't feel it. You will feel yourself here in July. So my strong advice to you is, to do the application is fine, and at the same time register in IELTS to get into the queue, Rabia, because once you get into the queue, when you reach into the test, we're probably having the same application, and we read your application, and we probably need, we'll definitely ask you for IELTS, but you probably have the certificate with you. But if you don't if you have some doubts about your your level of English, the IELTS, that would be a trouble. So I advise you to make a self-test. There are some self-test IELTS. I think it's available online, or some centers in India, they might offer that for you, and then you can evaluate to what extent your degree, your IELTS might tick the box for your application. So just make the application, just submit the application as soon as possible. We will reserve the seat for you. If you got the IELTS results on time, we will reserve the seat for you if you got unconditional offer. Oh, sorry, if you got conditional offer. But if it is still pending, the deadline will be July. Just don't forget that. Do you also have students who have, tertiary degree like PhD, post? I don't understand the question. Students, PhD students? Or do you want to be a PhD student? I can give you, just a minute, I can give you the right to talk if you want. Just a minute. So allowed to talk. Dr. Tanashri, you can talk if you want. You can talk if you want. Yeah.
Hi there. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a very interesting presentation. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
sorry for confusing you. So I was asking for myself. So I'm a PhD myself. So I finished my PhD in oncology from New Zealand in 2015. And then, so I'm an Indian national, and then I came back to India for family reasons, and I've been working here in the industry for the last couple of years. But I do want to upskill, and I was really looking at this program that UCL is offering. So that's why I was wanting to ask, because I did see on your website that I think somewhere it was mentioned that this course is also a right fit for somebody who's a PhD or, people who are already working in the industry. So just wanted to have a little bit more clarification on that part, please, if you can.
Yeah, of course. Well, if you
Thank you so
are,
much.
yeah, if you are, if you finish your degree, if you finish your PhD degree, you said in 2015.
Yeah, I did it 2015. Yeah.
So if there's 2015 degree, then that is probably about 7 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you are basically working in India, so you will be considered as an international student. That program in particular is purely practical in its approach. So that will possibly teach you how to practice the managerial skills. So I don't want to ask you, because this is recorded, so we can always have a chat with later on the email.
Sure.
But of course, we need to identify, why do you want to study this course, and what do you expect out of it? Do you work in the pharmaceutical industry? That you don't have to answer it. This is recorded, so but it's the question for everybody. So does this help you in your future career, in the pharmaceutical industry, if you are basically into that direction? There's so many questions in my mind, but it is a case specific that I can go through it together later on if you want.
I'll greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No problem. Just drop me a line and we can have a
Sure,
chat.
I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions? We've got another question here. Yeah. You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed that presentation, and I'm really looking forward to welcome your application and to read your applications starting from now. So when you have the opportunity to submit the application, please do submit. And as usual, if you have any questions or you have any concerns, just get back to me. We are basically here at UCL. We are the first business school, and we are responsible enough to help you and to guide you through the process for application, or give you the enjoyable teaching experience, whilst at the same time being research active, being involved, being engaged with the community and the society. So thank you so much again. It's almost 6:30 now. Really interesting, engaging questions so far, and good luck to you all. And thank you so much. That concludes my presentation tonight. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.